Hi Reception, thanks for coming to our third literacy lesson of the week so far. So this week you have read the story, The Magic Paintbrush, and yesterday we did a story map and we retold the story using our story map. So you should know the story really well by now. So for today's lesson, at the end of the lesson, what you're going to need is your story map and also the pictures of the emperor that I sent your helper and the words about the emperor. So you'll need that for the end of the lesson. So if you want to go and get that now, you can pause the video. Super. So in this lesson today, what we're going to be doing is talking about the characters in the story and then using the book to help us see where the story tells us those things about the character. So by the end of this lesson, what you're going to be able to do is use some new words to describe our characters, but also show in the book where it tells us that the character is like that. Okay, so before we start, I want to see how much you remember of our story. I'm going to show you some little bits of our story map, see if you can remember what was happening in each part. So here's our first one. What was happening here? That's right, this was towards the end of our story, and this is where Shen used her magic paintbrush to paint the dragon to try to stop the emperor from getting her paintbrush. And the emperor says, "No, don't let the paint dry." And he flees, doesn't he? He runs away. And that's towards the end of our story. Super. Oh, what happens here? That's right. This is at the very beginning of our story when Shen is at the beach and the old man gives her the magic paintbrush for the first time. And what does he say to her? That's right. He says, "Don't paint for wealthy folk, for rich people." Super job at the very beginning of our story. What happens here? That's right. This is when Shen has been seized by the emperor and she's locked up in that cold, dark room all by herself. But she doesn't give up. She paints a key and she runs away on the horse, doesn't she? And then the last one, can you remember what this is? Well done. That's the first time that we meet the emperor. And he orders Shen to paint him a tree with golden coins on. Fantastic. Right, then you have remembered that so well. So look who's here with us today to help us with our lesson. It's Bertie. Say hello. There we go. Oh, Bertie's got something to say about Shen. Let's see. Oh, so remember in today's lesson, we're going to be talking about some of the characteristics of our characters. Now, who can remember what a character is in a story? That's right. So well remembered. A character is a person, or sometimes it can be an animal that often talks in our story, does actions in our story, and has feelings in our story. So our main characters in our story are, that's right, Shen, the little girl, and the mean emperor. Fantastic. So we're going to be talking about the characters and what they are like. Now, last week you talked with Mrs. Hutt about personality traits, didn't you? And what all the different things that make up who we are. So Bertie has got one idea about Shen. Oh, so he thinks that Shen is really caring. Oh, I think I agree with you, Bertie. But can you tell me why you think that Shen is caring? Let's see. Okay. See what you think about this Reception. Bertie thinks that Shen is caring because she probably looks after her friends when they're in school. Caring in school. Was the story anything to do with being caring in school? No, we didn't see Shen in school, Bertie. Oh, you used your imagination to have a guess. Oh, okay. So that might be true. Maybe Shen in school is really caring with her friends. But the story doesn't tell us that, does it? So we have to think about examples of her being caring in the book. He says, oh, he thought he could make it up. Well, sometimes we do that, but we're not doing that today. Today, we're using what we've learned from the book, from our story. So Bertie thinks that Shen is caring, but what does caring mean? Because that will help us to think about where in the story she might be caring. If you think you know about the word caring, I'd like you to press the pause button now and tell your helper or your teddy. That's right. Caring is when someone looks after somebody else. So when did Shen in the story look after someone else? Can you remember? I'm going to show you two pictures. Here we go. Right then. So in one of these parts, Shen is caring. Now, I know, let me see here, Shen is painting the river. I don't think that shows that she's caring. I think that shows that maybe she's got really good ideas and that she doesn't give up. Oh, I can see in this picture that Shen has used her magic paintbrush to paint a big bowl of food for her family. Oh, I think this is showing us that she is really caring. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think this part of the story shows us that Shen is really caring because she knows that her family is really hungry. That's why her mummy, where is the mummy, sent her to the beach to go and get some fish and some shrimp. So instead of painting herself some toys or some sweeties that she might have fancied, she was caring. Let's see that word again. Here we go. And she decided to paint a big bowl of food for her family so that they weren't hungry. So she looked after them. She was caring. Now, I wonder if you can help me do the next one. Let's see what Bertie thinks next. Bertie, where are you? Oh, Bertie. Careful. Right then. Let's have a listen. Oh, that's a good word. Bertie thinks that Shen is really loyal. Can you say that word, reception? Loyal. Loyal. Can you say that again? Loyal. Well done. If you think you know anything about this word, you can pause the video now and tell your helper. Loyal. Let's have a little look. Here's the word loyal. Now, loyal is when you are true to your word. So loyal could be that someone in your class might say, after lunch, will you play with me? And you say, yes, I will definitely play with you. And then maybe after lunch, someone else comes up and says, we're playing a really exciting game. Well, do you want to play too? Now, if you're being loyal, you might say, now I remember that I promised my other friend that I would play with them. So I'm going to go and get my other friend and see if they want to play too. I'm going to be loyal to my friend. So you might go and find your friend and say, I remember that you wanted to play with me after lunch. You want to play this exciting game with us? That's being loyal. You're being true to your word. So Bertie thinks that Shen is loyal, that she was true to her word. True to her word. So let's have a little look at some pictures to see if we can figure out where Shen is being loyal. So Bertie, you can sit over there for now. Well done. Right then, so here we've got some pictures. So first of all, what can you see in this picture? What's happening? Oh yeah, that's at the end of our story, isn't it? Where Shen has used her paintbrush to paint all the things needed for a lovely party for the whole village. Does that show that she's loyal? Do you remember a time in the story where she promised the villagers that she would paint them a party? Oh no, I don't remember that. So let's have a look at our other picture. Oh, okay. Can you remember what was happening here? That's right. So this is when the emperor asks Shen to paint him a magic money tree. So can you remember what Shen said? Did she say, oh, okay, then definitely you are the emperor? So I'll say yes. No, she doesn't say that, does she? So she remembers. Let's have a little look at our story to help us. So she remembers something that she promised earlier in the story. Can you remember what she promised? That's right. Here she is, look. She promised the old man that she would only use the paintbrush to help the poor. She promised not to use it for the rich folk. That's what she promised. So when we come to this picture, this does show that she was loyal. Why does it show that she was loyal? Well done. She kept her promise to the old man. She didn't say, oh, I promised the old man, but actually it's the emperor, so I'm going to say yes. She was loyal and she said, no, I've got to be true to my word. Good job, reception. Now we're going to look at one more together and then you're going to have a go on your own. So let's have a little look. Oh, this word says creative. Can you say that word? Creative. Well done. Now, creative is when you have lots of really good ideas and you use your imagination and you make something happen. So creative is when you've got lots of amazing ideas in your mind and then you use those ideas to make something happen. So let's have a little look. When was Shen creative? So let's see. Well, there's lots and lots of times that she's creative. Can you think of any times that she had a great idea and made it happen? Can you think of any times? Pause the video now and have a chat with your helper to see if you can remember any times that she was really creative. Fantastic. Well, there's loads of examples and we've already seen some of them. So let's see here. This shows how creative she was because she thought, oh, I've got an idea. I can use my paintbrush to make some food for the family. Can you think of any more? What about here? Do you think she might have been creative here? Why? Pause the video now and explain to your helper or your teddy. Yeah, I agree. I think this shows she was really creative because there was a problem. The emperor was coming and she decided to use the ideas in her head to paint this amazing river. So there she's being very, very creative. I can think of another one. Wow, look at this. Fantastic. Here, what is she doing? That's right. She had wonderful ideas in her head to create a key and a horse. So her ideas of how to escape. So that shows how creative Shen was. So together, reception, we've used our story to show where Shen was showing different parts of her personality. So in part 2 of our video, I'm going to show you 2 other words and you're going to think about when in our story Shen showed those characteristics. So tune in for part 2 so you can have a go on your own. See you in a minute.